All praise to the Most High, AHAYAH, and to his son, AHAYAH, the Messiah, AHAYAH. This is Brother Holly here with the first Spirit of Truth broadcast here at the AHAYAH House channel, as well as the House of AHAYAH channel on this set-apart Sabbath day. First and foremost, as always, I give all glory, praise, and honor to the great I am, he who is, was, and is to come, the Almighty One, AHAYAH, and to his son, AHAYAH, Messiah, who gave himself for us that we might have life, and that life is in him, AHAYAH. Now, I like to just put the disclaimer out there at the beginning, children. I'm still nasally. I'm still have some congestion I'm dealing with and sinus headaches. So if you see me wincing or if I'm coughing or my nose is stuffy, please forgive me. I am still wrestling with this thing. I am better, but I am not 100% as of yet. For those of you who have prayed for me, continue to pray for me, that how would strengthen me and I would be completely relieved of this affliction. And all praise to the great I am. I'm thankful that He's given me the strength and the power to move forward and to bring out His word on this set apart Sabbath day. We'll be reading from the Learn Pele Hebrew Torah, Lashwan Kodash, Holy Tongue, Yasha, AHAYAH Bible Scriptures. And we're going to get right into it, children. And I'll be as brief as possible, but I want to cover the subject matter as thoroughly as possible. But while I still have my voice, we're just going to go right into it. Let's go Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 2. And it reads, Thou shalt remember all the way which AHAYAH thy AHAYAH led thee these 40 years in the wilderness. To what purpose, it says? To humble thee and to approve thee, to know what is in thy heart, whether thou wouldst keep his commandments or no. Will you highlight? The whole purpose of the wilderness experience and the whole purpose of our wilderness experience, of our captive state experience, the whole purpose of it is to see if we'll keep the commandments of AHAYAH or not. This is our proving ground. This is our test. He's proving us today. For all of you who have set your mind and your hearts to keep the Most High's way, may the Most High bless you in that. May His Son strengthen you in that, and may you be empowered by His Spirit to the completion of it. All praises. AHAYAH. But during this time of testing, during this time of proving, during this time of a higher sin, if you're going to obey Him or not, going to keep His commandments or no, I want to encourage you, children, do not draw back into perdition, for your salvation is nearer than when you first believed. Oh, praises! And we're gonna read what is going to be the culmination of if you stay faithful during the time of testing. He's going to open the doors up for you. He's going to do something for you, and He's going to make sure that you understand that it's Him that's doing it, and you didn't do this for yourself. Let's continue to read. Deuteronomy 8:3. And He humbled thee and suffered thee to hunger and fed thee with manna. Now, in the time of testing, when the children of Yasha'Allah were in the wilderness, and we're in this wilderness of America, some people like to say, we stuck here in this house of bondage, this house of ill repute, until AHAYAH wills it to be so that we are taken from this place and placed in our own lands. While we're here, we're going to be tested with hunger. But as He did for our ancient foremothers and forefathers, He's going to do it for us. He's going to provide us something to eat as He provided manna for them. Deuteronomy 8:3. And He humbled thee and suffered thee to hunger and fed thee with manna which thou knewest not, neither did thy fathers know, that He might make thee know that man doth not live by bread only, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of AHAYAH doth man live. Will you highlight? See, He wants you to know something. He's going to provide for you in the wilderness like He provided for our foremothers and forefathers. He'll provide for us. But he wants you to know something. Even though he's providing for you, miraculously providing for you, that you're not to live by that bread only. But you're supposed to be living by every word that proceeded out of his mouth. Did not AHAYAH Messiah tell us the same thing? When he was being tempted of the devil, he quoted this. The man should not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of AHAYAH's mouth. All praises. Deuteronomy 8:4. Thy raiment waxed not old upon thee, neither did thy foot swell these 40 years. Thou shalt also consider in thy heart, that as a man chasteneth his son, so AHAYAH thy AHAYAH chasteneth thee. Will you highlight? We're told in the book of, we're told in Job, we're told in the Proverbs, we're told in the book of Hebrews to not despise the Most High's chastening. We're told in the book of Hebrews in particular that when the Most High corrects us, when the Most High chastens us, when the Most High reproves us, when he rebukes us, he does it because he loves us. And that if you're without rebuke, if you're without chastisement, you're none of his. You're a bastard. You ain't none of his child. You're not his son or his daughter. So when you see these wicked heathens going about their life, if you step out of bounds just a little bit, here come the lightning bolt. Here comes the trouble. Here comes the chastisement. Here comes the correction. Here comes someone bringing rebukes free of charge, like Brother Holly tries to do every Saturday. As I've said before, I'll say it again. These rebukes found on these channels are free of charge. I will never charge you for these rebukes. For this word of correction. For this instruction in righteousness. Now to give you a little backdrop, children, I never know what I'm going to talk about until day of. I never know until day of what I'm going to talk about. In this manner, the Spirit gives me what to say. And this is what he wanted me to talk to you about today. Don't despise his chastisement. Depend on his provision. Notice that even though you're in this land that is not your own, a land where you were captive, and now you're being persecuted, that your clothes are not wearing out, your feet ain't swelling up, that you're eating, and you're going to be here forever, how long it takes until the Most High knows for sure if you and I are going to keep his commandments or not. If you keep his commandments, you'll live. If you don't, you shall perish. It's just that simple. Wow. I'll read verse 5 again, Deuteronomy 8:5. Thou shalt also consider in thy heart that as a man chasteneth his son, so AHAYAH, thy AHAYAH chasteneth thee. Therefore thou shalt keep the commandments of AHAYAH, thy AHAYAH, to walk in his ways and to fear him. We highlight. For AHAYAH, thy AHAYAH, bringeth thee into a good land, a land of brooks of water, of fountains, of depths that spring up, of valleys and hills. Verse 8, a land of wheat and barley and vines and fig trees and pomegranates, a land of oil, olive, and honey, a land wherewith you shall eat bread without scarceness, and thou shalt not lack anything in it. A land whose stones are iron, and out of whose hills thou mayest dig brass. Will you highlight? Excuse me. Now, when I was reading this morning, I brought something to my attention by his Spirit. He said, son, the land that I described here, that's a land that you're in right now. It's a land that has all these attributes, where you eat bread without scarceness. Those of us who are in America, some like to say. We still, even though we're not on the top, not all of us, I should say. Not as a group. We're not on the top here. They still got their knee on their neck, our neck, and thumb on the scale. here in America, for Afro-Hebrews. But he said that this land is being described. And it reminded me of something that was said in Jubilees, the book of Jubilees. And we're going to go to our handy AHAYAH, Yeshaya, King James Version, Bible, Apocrypha, Enoch, Jasher, and Jubilees, KJV. And we're going to turn to Jubilees 32 and 19, where it reads, and I will give to thy seed, this is a promise he made to Jacob, Jubilees 32 and 19, and I will give to thy seed all the earth which is under heaven, and they shall judge all the nations according to their desires, and after that they shall get possession of the whole earth and inherit it forever. Will you, if you have a version of Jubilees, will you highlight Jubilees 32:19? This was a promise explicitly made to Jacob, explicitly made to Yasha'Allah about his seed, who we are. We are his seed. We're the seed of Yasha'Allah, the Afro-Hebrews scattered throughout the earth. Forgive me, children, for coughing. And as such, the whole planet is ours. Did not AHAYAH tell our great forefather Abraham, wherever you put your foot is yours? Wherever you stride, wherever you put your foot down is yours. And that promise is not only to Abraham, our forefather, but unto his seed after him, all praises. So children, we have every right to the good of this land. For did not AHAYAH promise us through the prophet Isaiah, in chapter 1 of Isaiah, that we be willing and obedient, we eat the good of the land? But if we refuse and rebel, we should be cut off by the sword. Wow. You can eat the good of the land right here. You can have the covenant working for you right here and now. I have seen the covenant work for me right here, right now. We're going to read some of the provisions of the covenant, and we're going to see it at work right here, right now. And I'm reading to you how to get the covenant to be activated in your life through obedience to the commandments. All praises. I'll read it again. Deuteronomy 8:7. For AHAYAH bringeth thee into a good land, a land of brooks and of water, of fountains and of depths that spring up and spring out of valleys and hills, a land of wheat and barley and vines and fig trees and pomegranates, a land of oil, olive and honey, a land wherein thou shalt eat bread without scarceness. Thou shalt not lack anything in it. A land whose stones are iron, and out of whose hills thou mayest dig brass. When thou hast eaten, forgive me again, children. When thou hast eaten, verse 10, and are full, then thou shalt bless AHAYAH thy AHAYAH for the good land which he has given thee, will you highlight. And we just read from Jubilees, the whole planet is ours. So wherever you are today, child, there are people around the world, in Germany, Philippines, and other places around the world, tuning in these broadcasts. And I say to our international viewers, welcome, welcome, welcome. You are welcome to AHAYAH's house. And these blessings we're reading, this covenant we're reading right now, is applicable wherever you are. Child of Jacob. Oh, praise this. Deuteronomy 8:10. When thou hast eaten and art full, then thou shalt bless AHAYAH thy AHAYAH for the good land which he has given thee. But where that thou forget not AHAYAH thy AHAYAH, in not keeping his commandments and his judgments and his statutes, which I command you this day. See, that's forgetting about AHAYAH. When you stop doing that which is good and right in his sight, when you stop walking in uprightness, when you quit practicing righteousness, For it is our righteousness, according to Deuteronomy chapter 4, to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. This is our righteousness. This is AHAYAH's righteousness. We're not to go about establishing our own righteousness. We're just to commend ourselves to the righteousness of AHAYAH and have faith in his son, AHAYAH Messiah. All praises. Verse 11 again, beware that thou forget not AHAYAH thy AHAYAH, to keep and not keeping his commandments and his judgments and his statutes which I command you this day, lest when thou hast eaten and art full and hast built goodly houses and dwelt therein. Will you highlight? See, children, ain't nothing wrong with you building a house, with you having plenty to eat. We're going to see you. It's more than just a house. In the Proverbs, it said wealth and riches are in your house. You got to have a house to have wealth and riches in it. And a lot of us are in a state of being subject to payments, renting. Home ownership is at an all-time low, especially amongst our people. But I declare unto you this day, a house to dwell in is part of your covenant right. It's part of your birthright, child of Jacob. I'll read it again. Lest when thou hast eaten and art full, and hast built goodly houses and dwell therein, there it is, and when thy herds and thy flocks multiply, and thy silver and thy gold is multiplied. Ain't nothing wrong with you having a hoard of silver and gold. Silver and gold are still considered wealth vehicles today. I encourage you, children, to build wealth. It is part of your birthright. We're going to read it in a moment. To build wealth. Now you say, well, I got a 401k. I got an IRA. I got a pension. Well, children, that's just money. Money can be considered riches. But real estate, gold, silver, and things that are pretty much a lot to go up in value should be considered wealth. Wealth should be illiquid. What I mean by that is something you can't just easily turn into money. That takes effort to turn into money. That's wealth. It takes effort to sell silver and gold. You have to find a buyer and go through all the process. It takes effort to sell your home. It takes effort to liquidate a large block of shares of a particular company. And if I was you, I would invest in dividend paying companies. They have a lot surer upward trajectory. Let your wealth building be in those things. And you too should have wealth to pass on to your children. Everything I just named, real estate, gold and silver, and dividend paying stocks, can be passed to your children. And it says in Proverbs that a wise man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. So you can even bequeath it to your grandchildren if you have. I'm in the process right now of building more wealth to give to my children, to my two sons. And if you're out there, sons, pops love you. And I'm actively building wealth for both of you. All praises. Verse 13 again. And when thy herds and thy flocks multiply. Deuteronomy 8:13. And thy silver and thy gold is multiplied. And all that thou hast is multiplied. All praises. Then thy heart be lifted up, and thou forget AHAYAH, thy AHAYAH, which brought thee forth out of the land of Egypt, from the house of bondage. Wow. You start to roll and you forget. How do you forget him? We just read it a few verses ago. You forget him when you stop following his commandments. You forget him when you stop following his judgments. You forget him when you stop following his statutes. when you stop walking in his way, when you stop listening to him. You forget him when you drop faith in his son, AHAYAH. That's how you forget him. But when you're rolling, when everything about you is multiplying, that's a temptation to forget. What did AHAYAH say about a rich man who trusts in his riches? It's hard for him to get in the kingdom. Impossible, he said. Wow. Then thou heart, verse 14 again, Deuteronomy 8:14. Then thou heart be lifted up, and thou forget AHAYAH thy AHAYAH, which brought thee forth out of the land of Egypt, from the house of bondage, who led thee through that great and terrible wilderness. Hold up. All this multiplication is in the wilderness. All this acquisition, houses, gold, flocks in the wilderness. Manna in the wilderness. Wow. Deuteronomy 8:15. Who led thee through the great and terrible wilderness, wherein there were fiery serpents and scorpions and drought, where there was no water, who brought thee forth water out of the rock of flint. Wow. You have miraculous water. Who fed thee in the wilderness with manna, which thy fathers knew not, that he might humble thee, that he might prove thee, to do thee good at thy latter end. The time of testing is once you pass, and there's teachings on this channel about enduring temptation and going through trials and testing. It was a couple of months ago. That you would enter into your wealthy place. The place where your silver and gold multiplies, where your flocks multiply, where everything about you multiplies. Where you're building an inheritance, where you're dwelling in goodly houses. You're building an inheritance for your children. You got to go through some stuff first. And you got to believe, you got to have faith that AHAYAH is going to prosper you in your latter end. Let's read it again. Deuteronomy 8:16, who fed thee in the wilderness with manna, which thy fathers knew not, that he might humble thee, that he might prove thee, to do thee good at thy latter end. And thou say in thy heart, my power and the might of my hand have gotten me this wealth. What are you talking about? We've all seen it happen with children. People finally get to their wealthy place. They finally get there and they forget about AHAYAH again. Now they saying it was me. I was smart. I did this. I did that. I. Wow. I read it again. Deuteronomy 8:17, and thou say in thy heart, my power and the might of my hand have gotten me this wealth. But thou shalt remember AHAYAH thy AHAYAH, for it is he that giveth thee power to get wealth. Where else have we seen the term, you shall receive power? Acts chapter 1, verse 8. You shall receive power after the Ruach HaKodesh comes upon you. AHAYAH, your AHAYAH, will give you power to get wealth. To what end? Let's read it. That he may establish his covenant which he swore unto thy fathers as it is this day. The whole purpose of the gold in your house, the silver in your house, the gold, the flocks, everything multiplying. You're having a goodly house to dwell in. You got riches beyond imagine. And wealth and riches in your house. Both cash and gold and silver. Stocks, bonds, and real estate. You got it all. That's so he can establish his covenant. So it can be seen what it means to be in covenant with him. So the heathens know. Let them rage when AHAYAH blesses you. Let them rage when he separates you from them. And one way he separates you and I from the heathen and pours out his great love upon us is he prospers us. this life. In this life, he prospers us. That we have abundance, no lack. That we lack no good thing in this life. Oh, you're going to go through some trials. You're going to go through some testing. But if you endure to the end, you shall be saved. If you endure to the end, it shall be well with you at your latter end. You're going to go to your wealthy place. You know, I've been looking again. You know, I just been prompted again to look. And every day I look at a certain piece of property to acquire it. It drops. The asking price keeps dropping. Most I just point at this one like this. I'm gonna make it almost free to you, son. Because you were patient. You waited. So I'll make this one almost free. Oh, praises. See, I don't think something wrong with it. I got some people going out to look at it. Most High will in the near future. So I'll keep you posted. Verse 18 again. But thou shalt remember AHAYAH thy AHAYAH, for it is he that giveth thee power to get wealth, that he may establish his covenant which he swore to your fathers, as it is this day. And it shall be that if thou do at all forget AHAYAH thy AHAYAH, and walk after other deities and serve them and worship them, I testify against you this day, you shall surely perish. For all his promises that you have. You got his covenant. You got his promise. He ain't never let one word he's never said has fallen. Not one word. His integrity is unquestionable. His will unchangeable. And he is willed it to be so for the obedient, that they should eat the good. He is willed it to be so for the obedient, that they'll have gold and silver in abundance. He is willed it to be so for the obedient, they'll have a goodly house to dwell in. He has willed it and assured it by putting it in a covenant that you'll be given power to get wealth. To everything you touch prosper. But with all that, if you want to go bow down to some Christmas tree, bow down to some idol, bow down to some photograph or carving or some wooden cross. You want to go bow to something. Bow your knee to it. Call it your most high power. Then I declare to you, as Moses declared to our foremothers and forefathers, you shall perish this day. For all the good of how it's done for you. If that's what you want to do, good riddance to bad rubbish. I got one more scripture for you. It's from the Revelation. The words of Messiah. Revelation 3:18. He says, I counsel thee to buy of me gold tried in the fire. I said, wait a minute, time out. I said to the Messiah when I read this. This was quickened to me. He said, I'm counseling you to buy gold from me that's been tried in fire. Tried in fire is fine gold, refined gold, 4-9 fine. That's been refined. It ain't talking about buying gold nuggets. He's talking about buying fine gold. When you start purchasing gold, you'll realize what 4-9 fine means. It's been refined in the fires. All the impurities are gone. It's 100% 24 karat gold. I said to the Messiah when he showed this to me, I said, you said buy it from you? He said, right. Haggai chapter 2 verse 8 Say, the gold and silver are mine. They belong to my Father. And the Father has given all things into the hand of the Son. I was like, okay, so this is your stuff. He said, exactly. So I counsel you to buy it from me. When you go buy it, you're buying it from me. Wow, I'll read it again. Revelation 3:18, I counsel thee to buy gold, to buy of me gold, trying to find that thou mayest be rich. Will you highlight? The Messiah is counseling us to buy gold that we might be rich. I don't know what other green light indicators you need. I don't know where the price of gold is going. I just know it's going. It has a great deal of potential to increase in value, and it holds its value very well. Like real estate, like dividend paying stocks, these things hold their value very well, and you can increase in your wealth just by being patient, buying it now and keeping it and giving it wealth into your children. Children, I don't know when my last day gonna be. None of us know our last day. But this I do know, that I'm striving this day and the days to come that are how it wills me to live, to build a reservoir, if you will, of wealth to give to my children. And until the end of this age, we will be continuously provided for through the wealth that AHAYAH has instructed us to build, and the homes he's instructed us to build, and the gold and the silver he's instructed us to buy, that we'll be provided for. But we got to remember, it is he that gives us this power, that he may do one thing and one thing alone: establish the covenant. All praise to the Most High, AHAYAH, and to his son, Yahayasha, Mashiach, Yadahayah.